everyone, Paul from Model Boat Builders. Hope everybody's well. Okay, a rundown on the houseboat. If you've seen in the other vlogs that I've been putting up on YouTube and Facebook on my pages, that got some pictures up there of lights and everything else working. I've now completed all the rails, same type of rails as here on the lower deck and the top deck, all the way around. That's all completed now. It's just on 2.5 days to do that. So anyway, we were originally talking about the two outboard motors that sit on the stern. I've changed my method again, which I do quite often, unfortunately. That's the way I am, pedantic and silly. So what I've come across is I'm going to make them fixed. I was going to set them into a rudder system, and it was a little bit too confusing and too much underneath to mess around. So I'm going to make them a permanent fixture, and you'll probably have a bit of a chuckle on this. If you know me by now, I'll make anything out of everything I can find. Bits of pieces of, you name it, I'll use it. Even if you look at the furniture inside, the tabletop or the table base is a pop-up lid from a drink bottle. Perspex are from the plastic screens for the COVID. So I was lucky enough to get some of those and cut them up. The swimming pool, of course, the spa, which is, there we go, just there. I'll give you a bit of a better look, you know, in my ugly face in there. And the perspex up on the top. All those windows are plastic, and they're all from the protective screens that you have to wear. So anyway, apart from that, what we've done is put the stairs in since then. The decks aren't fixed in, of course, because the lower deck's going to have all the electronics. But beside that, let's get back onto these motors. So as I said, I've made them out of fixed, and the way I have done that is, and this is where you'll get a bit of a laugh. Yep, toilet paper holder, toilet paper roll, because of the shape. I wanted to get that type of shape. Now I could have gone to the trouble, and I've got balsa wood here that'll bend that shape and steam it and glue it, and what's wrong with that? So what I've done is I've made the base. I've used MDF, which is just a cheap board, so that's on there, and the base, and of course these have all got to be cleaned up. So that's the top of the outboard motor. Used MDF again, 2 pieces of MDF joined together, and using my Zito tool, which is my little wonderful tool there, I've just carved them. So they're a little bit hard for you to see, but just carved them into a bit of a shape. They're longer than what they will be. I will cut them down to about where my finger is, because at the moment that sits on like that. So that looks like, it will do once it's all painted up and positioned correctly, that's your outboard motor, the top, because you don't see anything else. And they will sit on the stern at around about that height. And I'll probably just put a little bit of sign writing on them, whether it's a Mercury or Johnson. I'm not sponsoring anybody, but either one, I'll put something on there. So you'll look at those as the outboard motors, and they're going to be dummies. So don't throw these away. Amazing how many things I've used out of these. And you're saying, oh, okay, it's not waterproof. They will be waterproof, because I always use a base paint undercoat. I use enamel, and I use an enamel 3 coats, at least of enamel will go on that. But keeping in mind where they are up on the deck, this deck is at least 30, sorry, my mind's going now. I'm using 42 mil pipe, so there'll be 30 mil, so it'll only be in the water about 10-15 mil, say 10, so 30 mil above the water. So this deck should not get wet. I'm not going to put it out in storms or anything like that. I'm going to always put it out on nice flat calm water, and it doesn't go fast. It's a houseboat, so it's very, 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 very slow. Okay, so, and once that's waterproofed, it won't even matter. So we'll get off to that. Now, getting onto the rudder system. The rudder system which I have devised here, I'll just put it all back together. The rudder system is, all it is that, very simple. I've designed it and made it all myself. I haven't copied off anything. This will then go, of course, underneath on the stern. I'll put it back as far as I can so you don't see the rudder, because normally these will used as a rudder, the outboard motors control as a rudder. So this will go underneath, and what I've done, an old shaft that I got out of a printer with a centre hole in that position there, okay, and used, everyone knows if you build model boats, when you're using a rudder control, you get plenty of these, which I've got tons of these. That's your main control arm, and looking at that, this will be in the water of course with the rudder, and I'll show you that in a moment. And you can see that is your swivel arm. Now that will be in a fixed position in here once I've got it all back together. So it right to left as such. Now that going underneath, you're saying, well, how am I going to join this here, which is going to go under the vessel, up into what I call it the control area, or the electronic boxed area, which I showed you in one of my other vlogs, and that was completely waterproof. Okay, so what we then use the controller, which is that, of course, you all know that. Originally I was going to sit it flat and then extend a shaft through the base of the motorhome to a rudder, so it's direct. So since then I've changed my mind and I've devised this. One, this will then go that way. I will then fit, and what I've done is use plastic here. I've again used a control arm, as we call them. The control arm will fit onto there, and I always use a good araldite, waterproof araldite, for any plastics or wood. All this was made with part super glue and araldite. That will then sit in that position in the control box underneath in through here. Now, to control the rudder, it will then connect to here with a wire, and that will give it its left to right motion. So we're looking at it that way, and it'll push, which will go either right or left, and the other way. So quite simple. Now, to get this, unfortunately, through the main deck, I will have to put a very, very fine slit in the base of the motorhome. Keeping in mind, it's at least 30 mil above water. This is above inside the waterproof area. Now, just as a double security, if any water gets in through this small cut in the base of the motorhome, this area, and all the electronics anyway, I raise them all. This will be put into a waterproof box. So all I do is make an MDF box, completely seal it, put it over the top, raise it up, say that, about 10 mil off the surface, and that should be plenty. If any water gets in there, it doesn't really matter, because it's completely waterproof, can't get anywhere else, won't get into the electronic side because they'll all be raised, battery and all. I'll take it off this main deck. I've got all this area, explain, I've got all that height there to worry about where the area, all the electronics are going, and I've got plenty of room. there's heaps of room in there for a big battery. I'm using the 7.4 again. All the lights I can run on 9 volt if I want. I can put it on a separate battery, which I'm thinking of doing, because then I'll give it a running time of around about half an hour, which is a good time for any sort of boat to get out there. And it's going to be slow. I've got a slow motor for it. It's a big motor, but it's a slow motor, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want one of these cheap ones. So that's how that one works. Now the rudder, what I've also done is I had some, which I do have here, excuse me, I do have plenty of brand new suitcase tags that I had. So what I've done is I've cut 2 down. At first I was just going to have this one, that one, and I thought, yeah, that's great, but of course the problem comes, how will I secure it to the bottom main shaft for the rudder as such? So again, I've come up with an idea. I've got 2 halves. I've machined smooth both edges, as you can see. I've used an inside edge of the old one, and when they're put together, because if I was going to just put them together like so, and that's what the original would look like, when you look at the other end, you get water in here, which will cause an air pocket and it could cause problems. So what I've done, as you can see, with it all closed up, it will be completely sealed, no water can get in, and this will have air permanently in it, so it'll be a little bit lighter. There'll be no heavy weight on a plastic shaft. That is a very, very strong plastic shaft, by the way, out of a printer. So that's what it'll look like. Not in that colour, of course. We'll do it black or white, we're not sure yet. But that will be well below the water. So it's cheating in a way. Vessels don't have that type of system, but that should be fine. There won't be any problem at all. And that's it so far. Alright, so I love you and leave you, and stay safe and look after yourselves. And please share, and if you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. This will be on YouTube probably in the next half an hour or so, and we'll catch you on the next one, and we'll keep you up to date. I reckon it's only a few days away now where I can get it up and test run in the bath. So yeah, look after yourselves, God bless, catch you later, bye bye.